Hey guys, what's up? Hope you guys are having a great day today. My name is NZDUSD here with New Millennium Wealth, and welcome back for another episode of the weekly market analysis. All right, so hope you guys had a great Memorial Day weekend. Mine was pretty good actually. It got rained out. It pretty much rained all day long, which was rather disappointing. But other than that, it wasn't bad. Can't really complain. It was a good day. I got to spend time with my family, and it was great. So, but because of Memorial Day weekend, we had Monday off, so I decided to not record my podcast episode. Usually, if you guys don't know, I have a podcast. It's called the NZDUSD Program, and basically, I talk about financial freedom and economics, and I talk about the importance of controlling the source of your income and a whole host of other things. One way of doing that is trading, like I've said many times, but normally I record an episode on Monday, and then I usually take an excerpt from the weekly market analysis videos, and I also use that as a podcast. So that way I'm getting like 2 podcast episodes out a week. Well, unfortunately, because I took Monday off to be with my family, well, not really unfortunately, but because I did that, I didn't have nearly as much time. So I'm still recording this on Wednesday like I usually try to do, but my week is going to be a bit busy, just trying to play catch up. So that being said, today is the first day that I'm actually getting in the charts. I normally would try to look at the charts on Monday and then come in on Wednesday to see how my trades actually came out. Now, luckily, last week, I did actually go over some charts, and I did actually place some trades on to see if anything got filled. And we have a few trades that did, in fact, work out. So first and foremost, we got to find New Zealand dollar. I want to show you guys this trade. It actually ended up working out in our favor. Okay, just making sure I got the right one. It's not the first time I've taken trades on New Zealand dollar. So as you can see, we started kind of down here. We retested the entry, tested the entry again, and then we rallied, looking like we were going to give me a nice profit, and then we started to go, just fall through the floor. And unfortunately, as you can see, it didn't look very positive for us. But then the market just went a little lower and then rallied. It found a bottom. It found support around here. Like I said, look left, structure leaves clues, right? So if you look where we found support up around this area, about 59.31 is what I'm looking at. And then we rallied and then just continued rallying. We ended making money. So that was a great trade. We took that trade, let's see, what was this? May 3rd. So it was the beginning of the month that we took that trade. It finally came to fruition on the 26th, so yesterday. Sometimes, guys, this is the nature of trading. You take a trade, you look like you're going to lose, you hold it for what was that? I said 26th, and we took it on May 3rd. 23 days. Almost a whole month. That's insane. But you know what? Sometimes that just happens. But hey, in the end, we ended up making money. It was $155. Of course, hypothetical money, but still, hey, awesome. I love it. Now, we are waiting on the dollar yen. Let me see if I can find that one real quick. So far, it's not looking very positive. This hasn't actually finished here. We took this on May 14th, and we are now waiting to see what's going to happen. Honestly, unless this thing falls to the floor, a lot like the last trade, it's looking like it's going to rally and stop me out. So hopefully not, but if it does, oh well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, right? So, and then the next one is pound yen. Again, very similar story. We are trending higher, looking like we're going to go ahead and stop me out, but we might not. There's a bit of a double top type of situation here, which I wouldn't really classify this as a double top. Double tops don't happen inside of bearish markets, and this is very much, well, it looks to me like a bearish market at least. We've been bearish since April 9th. I don't know. We had an extension, retracement extension. I guess you could technically classify it as a double top, like a bullish trend inside of a bearish one. But the highest high needs to equal the highest close. And did that happen? It did. Only just. Look at that. Okay, yeah, it did. So technically speaking, you could classify this, or at least I would classify this as a double top. Normally what I like to see is a double top occurring in a market that's just going higher. And we see a double top here, and then we go lower. But double tops can occur inside of other trends. So we have an overarching bearish trend, and we had an extension, retracement extension, thereby creating a bullish trend, and now we have a double top. So is this an indication that it's going to head lower? Not necessarily. Double tops don't always work out. The consistency is not the best. I backtested double tops before. I had a trade where I was a trading strategy where I wanted to take double tops, and I have to be completely honest. Well, it was double tops and double bottoms, and I have to be completely honest, I wasn't really all that happy with it. I didn't find the trades very often, so as you can imagine, I didn't have a lot of trades to take, and when I did find them, very rarely did the double tops and double bottoms work out in my favor. A lot of times they didn't. So you had to make a lot of money on each winning trade that made up for the many losers that you ended up facing. So I'm not a huge fan of these, but you know, I mean, hey, you could still get it. You could still create a strategy around them. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So, but that's the case. You know, we're just kind of waiting to see. I still think this is going to rally and stop me out, but hopefully not. I would love it if it didn't. All right, so we've got three trades. First, I want to cover the CAD Swiss. So the CAD Swiss is a currency pair that I am currently backtesting today. And so far, we almost have 100 trades in it. I think I'm at like 96 trades. And so far, we are profitable with regards to the backtesting. You know, out of 96 trades, I have grown a $3,000 account, again, hypothetical money, into a $5,000 account. Not bad if you ask me. So far, yes, we have a positive expectancy. But that being said, you know, a little more backtesting is needed, and then I'll add it to my currency pair portfolio of backtested strategies. You know, I really want to apologize. I constantly talk to you guys about how I'm backtesting, and it seems like it's taking me forever. I'm going to be honest, I have a very hard time maintaining consistency backtesting every single day. In fact, it almost doesn't happen every day. It's really hard to keep up with it. Here's my excuse making, but they're all legitimate, you know, reasons. Between, you know, spending time with my wife, taking care of my 7-month-old daughter, and producing all the content creation, I'm not the best at doing other things beyond that. Those are my primary functions, I guess. Those are the primary things that I do. Unfortunately, there's a lot of other stuff I need to do. There's like social media marketing. Once you create the content, you got to pump the content out. I'm not very good at doing that. I'm not very good at making time to do that. And then on top of that, you also have the backtesting, which is really the bread and butter of what I'm trying to do, right? I mean, it's what I want to do. I want to be a consistently profitable trader. The only way to get there is to backtest. So I want to let you guys know that, yes, I come to you guys in all these videos, and it looks like I've got it all together. It looks like I'm a type A personality that just gets it all together, and I am just, you know, crushing it, right? That's what it looks like. I'm just an average day, normal guy. Yeah, sure, I am smart. Yes, sure, I have a lot of knowledge in areas that people don't. I'm very, very, very highly knowledgeable about trading, about investing, personal finances, economics, financial markets. Many people would probably even consider me an expert in those fields because I know more than the vast majority of people. And I'm not trying to be arrogant by saying that I know a lot. I do a lot of research. I'm involved in a lot of that stuff on a consistent basis. It's just stuff that I have a lot of passion for. But that being said, look, I'm a normal guy, okay? There is nothing special about me. I am smart. I am highly intelligent. So are a lot of other people. It's just a matter of coming in and doing everything, you know, doing stuff day in and day out. And I struggle with that as much as anybody else does. Now, you don't see that in the videos, and it's impossible for me to show you that unless I was going to literally have a camera following me around 24/7, and that's not going to happen. But I just want you to know, if you're struggling with getting in there consistently, trading, if you're struggling with, you know, doing the things that you know you need to do in order to be a success, and you're beating yourself up, don't beat yourself up. It doesn't help you at all, okay? Just try to get done what you can when you can, as much as possible. If that means working on the weekends, then work on the weekends. If that means working at night, then work at night. But in the end, you need to make time to do it. But don't be mad at yourself, and don't think of yourself as a failure if you're not the best at doing it day in and day out, okay? I don't think anybody is. I don't think anybody is. But I guess we could talk about that more later on in the episode, and I guess that could be an excerpt for the podcast. But so this trade actually came to fruition before I could post it. You know, I placed an entry here. Let's see, it was around May. It was before May 21st. I could tell you that. And fortunately, we got entered right around here, and then we rallied. So this was an excellent trade, and I'm very, very happy with that. Now, let's move on to the two trades that I took this morning. We got pound dollar right here, where we broke below this structure low right here, all the way down here. And now we're kind of retracing higher. Now, if we zoom out more and more and more, there we go. I was about to say, what's taking so long? You know, as you can see, we've definitely been bearish, and then we've been bullish for a little while, but we had a retest of the highs right here, and now we're kind of heading lower. I'm kind of hoping that I'm definitely hoping we're going to continue lower. The problem that I have with this trade, and I know I took it, right? I know it was a trade that I took, but I didn't measure from the highest peak, right? I should have measured, in my opinion, from this swing high, because this is a retest. This didn't actually break the structure level right here. This was the higher point. Only slightly higher. I would have liked to have done this. Measured it from this swing high to this swing low, and then put my entry all the way up here. And if I get stopped out here, that's exactly what I'm going to do. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do this right here on video so you guys can see it. Boom, right there. If we get up to here, the 124.28 level, we will get short all the way up here. Hopefully, what could happen, and this actually happened in my CAD-CHF back-tested trade that I did last night, and it was really, you know, it was a very, very similar situation just like this, where the market had kind of come up here, and I decided to take the trade from not a very good, well, I don't know if I'd say it was a bad one, but a more minor structure level. Okay, this is a minor structure level. This is a major structure level, especially because we had a retest like this. This is a pretty major structure level. This is a minor structure level. The markets, generally speaking, don't value these very highly, but that doesn't mean the markets don't value them. Every now and then they do. And sometimes it makes sense to take a trade from this area. So what I actually did, I'm going to go ahead and delete this so you guys can see what I did here. I actually drew my fib retracement tool from this swing high to this swing low, and that's where I got my entry, my 618 entry. So, you know, I actually had a very similar trade where the market came in and well, first I should probably explain. Last night I did some back testing on the CAD Swiss. And I had two amazing trades, very similar to this, where the market came up, gave me my entry off of a fib measurement of a minor structure level, and then the market came up further, gave me my entry on the fib measurement of the major structure level, just like here. It came up here, got me entered in both trades, and then fell through the floor. Now, on those trades, it was a long position, so it actually rallied, but it ended up giving me two winners. Now, this doesn't happen all the time. Generally speaking, what happens is either both end up in failure, and I feel miserable, or the first one ends up in failure and the first one ends up successful, which kind of sucks because it takes profits out of the second one that I ended up taking. So, you know, I mean, that's just the way it works sometimes, but this is the potential trade we have on today. I hope that it ends up working out because I would like it. And so far it is kind of coming down, you know, but we'll have to see. Honestly, I would want to see it break this structure level right here before, in order for me to feel confident about it. But you know what? Sometimes these things get within a pip or two of the end of the target and they still don't work out. So, you know, it's just one of those things. Next one, New Zealand dollar. Ladies and gentlemen, this one ended up being a loser when this was another example. So I actually showed you guys the New Zealand dollar that I took before, and it ended up being a winner. What I didn't show you in that moment, because I intended to show you it now, is that I also took an opposite trade. I hedged my risk. is what I did. I don't normally do this, and it ended up biting me for doing this. What I did was on the other New Zealand dollar trade. Now I'm going to pull it up here so you guys can see it again. Let me find it real quick. Here we are. I believe this is the right one. Okay, so as you can see here, I originally took the trade because we broke above this structure level, and I waited for a 618 fib retracement, so that in hopes that it would rally, and it eventually did after breaking below and making a new lower low from this swing low right here, this higher low that we created earlier. So what ended up happening was, because it made this new lower low, I thought, hey, why don't I take that trade? So I did from the swing low to the swing high, and I got my entry at this price level right here, 60.65, and I decided to short the market right around here. So I put my entry on, I got filled, and then we rallied and I got stopped out. Now I made 155 on the previous trade. I ended up losing 100 on this trade because I tried to hedge my risk. That being said, I want to make it very clear that while I did take two completely different trades going in the opposite direction on the same currency pair, this is called a perfect hedge, and it is actually illegal in the US. You're not allowed, brokers won't even allow you to take two trades going in the opposite direction. At least US-based brokers aren't going to allow that. So it's important to keep that in mind. I was just doing it for, just for kicks and giggles and pretty much just for trading analysis and whatnot, just for practice, but, just to see what would happen. But in reality, it can't really be done. You're not really allowed to take those types of trades. You can't take opposite trades in the exact same currency pair. So be that as it may, that is the unfortunate situation. You just can't take perfect hedging trades in the United States. Now there are, like I said, there are other ways around it, but that's not really going to be the purview of this episode. That being said, guys, I wanted to kind of close out this video by, kind of just talking with you guys about what is really required in order to become consistently profitable, in order to become financially free and to control the source of your income. And guys, if you want to be successful, financially successful, or successful in anything, you need to be willing to do things that other people are not willing to do. And what I mean by that is, I'm not implying unethical things or things of that nature. What I'm more or less saying is, you need to be willing to do the things like working on the weekends or working at night. And we kind of talked about this at the beginning of the episode, but that's what you need to be willing to do each and every week in order to become successful, in order to reach a level of success that other people dream about. If you want to live a life that 90% of the people can't live, then you have to act differently than the 90% of those people. Right? If you want to live a different life, you have to act differently. If you're going to go to your job and come home and just veg out, unwind and watch TV, maybe play your video games, you're not going to get anywhere. Okay, we've all done that. I still struggle with doing that because it's easy, right? It's easy. It's nice. We tend to build those habits, and old habits die hard. They're very, very difficult to break. But that's what is necessary in order to become financially free, in order to become a consistently profitable trader. This is something you have to do. You have to be willing to do what other people are unwilling to do. I mean, look, when you're talking about becoming a professional sports player, it's the same thing. You're not going to become the next Michael Jordan by not practicing basketball all the time. You're not going to become the next Eric Lindros in hockey if you're not going to be practicing hockey, getting on the ice all the time. If you want to be like anybody that's successful out there in sports or anything, you have to practice. With trading, it's no different. Get in, look at the charts, do it as often as you possibly can. Every day, if you have the time, if you have the ability to. Definitely try every night. You have to get out there and you have to practice every single time. It's the only way. If you want to become successful, you cannot afford to do the things that everybody else is doing. I mean, look, I'll be honest, I work on the weekends. I try not to. I try to get all of my content creation and work and backtesting. I try to get it all done throughout the week, but I end up having to work on the weekends too. Sometimes, especially if I don't have enough time in the week to edit the videos and do some social media work, I almost have to work on the weekends. And I'm not perfect at this, guys. That's why this is my journey. If I was already successful, don't you think I would say I was? Don't you think that it would be better for me to say, hey, I'm already a consistently profitable trader. Hey, I'm already making a lot of money. But the fact remains, though, guys, is like, look, it would definitely serve me better to go off and claim that I'm a consistently profitable trader and I'm already financially successful, but that wouldn't be true because I'm not yet. This is my journey, so I'm not perfect. I'm not there yet, but I will be. So, guys, look, if you want to become successful, if you want to control the source of your income, if you want to become a consistently profitable trader, you have got to be willing to do what other people are unwilling to do. You can't live life like 99% of the population lives, because 99% of the population are poor. Even if you're middle class, even if you have a lot of money, it's all about the mentality, right? Poor is not an income status. Poor is the mentality that you have, and 99% of the people out there are poor. They don't know how to manage their money. They only think short term. They don't think long term. They don't know how to stick with it, even though, in spite of its pain, the pain that it creates. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Doing all of this work all the time and seeing very, very little results, it can be painful. I mean, doing this whole TradingView analysis that we're doing, this whole TradingView journal, I mean, look at it. I made $155. It boosted us to $2,800. I was getting pretty happy. I was starting to think that we were going to come back and maybe start making money here. But then eventually we dropped back down to $2,400. Do you not believe that that's painful to go through? Even if it's fake money. I mean, it's all hypothetical, right? It's just practice, but it still hurts. Still emotionally hurts to have to lose all the time. Seriously, it is. And it does. It's painful. It hurts to come in and to work. Work can be painful. Okay? There's always an aspect of pain that comes with work, because we don't like every aspect of work. You know, even if you love content creation, you're gonna hate some portions of it. You might hate the social media aspect of it, because that's like a full-time job of and in itself. You know, even if you love content creation, you're gonna probably hate the idea of going out there and working on stuff like editing videos and editing blog posts, making custom graphics for your stuff, and then coming up with tags and, you know, things of that nature. I mean, it's not all fun. I mean, I like getting on the mic and talking with you guys, which is why I do it. I really do genuinely enjoy that, getting my opinions out there, getting my personal beliefs out there, particularly if you want to hear more about who I am. Go to the Matthew Spazzini program, which is, let me pull it up here real quick. For those of you who are listening on this with regards to the podcast, you're not actually going to see this, but it's the MatthewSpazziniProgram.podbean.com, or you could go to newmillenniumwealth.com, and that will and then go to the tab that says, over here, waiting for it to load. Go to the tab that says episodes, and then you will see podcast in the drop-down menu there. And that's a great way to go there too. I share all of my podcast episodes on my website, every single one of them. And we're on episode 16. I'm editing episode 17 as we speak. And I have episode 18 will be an excerpt from this podcast, what you're listening to right now. This section will be in the podcast. You know, you got to work smart. You got to work efficiently. But guys, look, again, hard work is not going to solve the problem. You've got to work smart. You've got to be efficient. Try to reuse content. That's a great way to do it. If you're into the content creation world, if that's what you're doing, then that's how you have to work. But look, you can't live life like everybody else if you expect to become successful at this. If you become successful, you can't live life like everybody else. You just can't. Okay? I'm telling you right here and right now, you just can't do it. You can't live life like everybody else. You have to live differently. You have to work harder. And, well, you got to work smarter, right? You've got to work at night. You've got to work on the weekends. I mean, of course, you have to take it into perspective. I mean, if you've got a family, your family needs you. So you don't want to totally disregard your family. I'm not advising that at all. What I am advising, though, is just you have to get out there. And you've got to work at times when other people don't want to work. I mean, most people come home, on the weekends, they watch football games, they watch some kind of sport. They come home, maybe they watch sports throughout the week, or they come home and they watch TV with their family. Maybe they fall asleep on the couch. I mean, most people, the minute they're done with their job, and I understand this, when I had a 9-to-5 job, I did the same thing. I would come home, I'm exhausted, kick my shoes off. I would start to get really, really, really comfortable, and I would just veg out. Because I'm exhausted. My day was exhausting. I mean, it's tiring to work for somebody else. It's tiring to work for yourself too. But it's hard. It's much harder when you've got another job, and I understand that. I do, because I've done it. Now, I will admit, when I was working my 9-to-5 jobs, I didn't even try to do a lot of this stuff. I didn't even know that I wanted to do a lot of this stuff at that time. There was one job that I had worked. It was a normal full-time gig, and it was like 8 to 6 type of thing. And I have to be completely honest. It was a job where, at the time, I wanted to work on my business, and I tried on the weekends and stuff of that nature, but it was ridiculously hard. I mean, I was exhausted. But I wasn't working just a normal desk job. I was in the warehouse. In the summer, I was sweating a lot, and it was a nightmare. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. It was not what I wanted for my life. So eventually I ended up quitting, and I went back to a part-time job, and then I started working on my business a lot more heavily with the part-time job. My wife had a good job, and she enabled me to do this. So look, I understand that it's difficult to work full-time jobs. I have worked those full-time jobs before, and I understand. I get it. I'm now in a position where I have the ability to work a lot at my business, even though I'm taking care of my daughter at the same time. But I'm going to tell you this. It is possible. You can do it. There are tons of people that do it all the time. It's possible. And look, if you can't do it during the middle of the week, and you're just too exhausted from your job, like I was when I was working in the warehouse, I get that. Okay, and I understand the feeling of feeling lost and just unfulfilled and working a job that you hate. I understand that. I really do. And if you are struggling and you just can't find the energy to work at night, then you're gonna have to work on the weekends. I actually did do that. You're gonna have to work on the weekends. You're gonna have to put some effort into it. You're gonna have to. Otherwise, it's never going to happen. And if you're not in a position like I was to quit the job, you're gonna have to find time. Right? And if you're not, it would be better if you found time to work on it at night. But if you don't have the time to do that, which I think I actually did do on occasion. I think I actually did do some work on it at night. I believe I did actually do that. But it wasn't a consistent thing. Right? So I understand the struggle, guys. But you've got to find a way to do what other people are unwilling to do, to suffer through the pain that other people are unwilling to suffer if you want to become profitable, if you want to control the source of your income and become financially free. You've got to do that. Otherwise, this is just a pipe dream that's never going to happen. And I hate to say that to you, but that's the truth. So guys, get out there, find time. If you can't do it, again, if you're too exhausted and you just can't muster the energy to do it at night, that's fine. But then do it on the weekends. And just know that until you start making money, I mean, you're not going to make the strides that you are if you are working at night. But try to find some time at the end of the day at night, and then try to find some time on the weekends. That's the only way to do it. And I know that, again, I'm in a very unique position. But I've been in your shoes before. I've been in the similar positions before. What I can tell you is that it is possible. So, all right, guys. Well, hey, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to check out the website at newmillenniumwealth.com. And if you're interested in the podcast, check out the podcast at, man, I gotta look at it, the MatthewSpazzettiProgram.podbean.com. I'll list all the links in the description below, so you don't have to remember those and whatnot. But hey, check them out. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to share this content. All right? Help me get this message out. Help me grow this community of people. And if you'll do all that for me, I'll see you guys in the next episode. As always, know the risks, plan accordingly, and have a great day.